live from the camera.
And unmuted. All right. So, welcome to TRPG, the talk show that started our whole channel. Today, I am joined by Kelsey, who is a new admin member of the team. And I'm Nikki. I use she, her pronouns. I am an educator, LGBTQ advocate, disability advocate, and co creator here at TTRPG. Kelsey?
Hi, Kelsey. I use she, they pronouns. I am just a goblin on the internet. I like to do admin things. I'm a TTRPG enthusiast. I do lots of yarn things. I've recently picked up knitting, and I'm very excited about it. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And so today I am drinking, so I have this really nifty clear teapot, so that way I could show off the color of the tea. So today I'm drinking the Inflammation Rescue, and it's a little bit of a pinkish color because there are dried strawberries in it. And it's got fennel seed and peppercorn and orange peel and all kinds of stuff. And it's really flavorful. And does actually help a bit with some of the pain that I deal with on a daily basis. So it's pretty cool. What are you drinking?
I have in my mug, it might be backwards, but my mug says always learning. I found it at Target. It felt very special. I have just a basic chamomile tea. And it's actually the first time I've ever seen like loose leaf chamomile. I've only ever had it like in the little sachet bag things before. I didn't realize it's just like a little flower bud. Like it looks like a little dried up dandelion, and I had no idea.
Yeah. Yep.
So
super cool. Well, if you're a tea fan, we do have our tea promo I'm putting right here in the chat. You get 15% off gaming inspired teas by using the code TRPG. That's TEA TRPG. It's a pun. All right. So we're going to bring on our first guest. So our guest is a producer at Arrivals of Waterdeep, a professional game master for Magpie Gaming and Kobold Press, and a talented person who's super fun to be around. Welcome, Noir.
Hey, how's it going? But that's a far better intro than I feel I deserve. Thank you very much.
So my first question is, what's in your cup? What are you drinking today?
I am drinking a tea that you and your team were so kind enough to send me. It's the TTRPG. It's a black tea, teapot sprinkles, orange peel, dried raspberry, edible pink glitter. So now my insides will be all pretty.
it's essential.
It's very important. So you've been in the game a long time. What got you into TTRPGs?
Hating my job. No, I've actually been playing TTRPG since I was 14. To the day, I actually have the day that I first played, which was I think November 22nd, 2004. So I've been playing for a while. And the reason that I played is because a couple of my friends would just league. Like we had this area at our high school called Circle Drive where we would like sit around, play music, play Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, and then suddenly less people started showing up, and I'm like, where they going? It turns out one of the guys there started playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I wasn't invited, so I invited myself. And I fell in love with TTRPGs ever since.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. So I know you have done stand-up in the past and still do stand-up type things. How does your experience in that area and your improv work help you out and inform what you do in the TTRPG space?
Improv helps me far more than the stand-up stuff. The stand-up stuff helps a lot with the GMing, but improv helps just as a player and with the GMing. Improv teaches you to be very cognizant of the people on stage with you and to build with them, and to make sure that you understand that there is no main character on stage when you're improvising, because scenes don't exist to live for a very long time. So you have to be ready to hand that spotlight on over the second somebody has something funnier. And stand up helps with just prepping. Um, with stand up, you write something and you don't know if it works until you present it in front of people. So being able to take negative criticisms and bomb essentially. um, when you bomb as a GM, because you can bomb as a GM, stand up has helped me learn to deal with that and to try and come back harder and present a much better story. So I highly recommend everybody try to either read a book on improv, maybe listen to an improv podcast, but stand up it's not as necessary.
So, part of the joy at being at a table with a group of people is the part where you're like collaborating on your story, and improv is all about collaboration. When you sit down to a new table, how do you make sure that all of your players' characters achieve their goals?
Well, as a GM, really all you have to do is listen, because people will tell you what they're after. They might do it subtly or quietly, depending on how introverted or extroverted they are. But everybody that comes to a table generally, communicates what they're after. Some people will be like, I'm here for the sadness, I'm here for the drama. Some people are just like, I want to kick a door down and punch a goblin right in the nuts. It's just like you listen to the ad-libbing, you listen to what they're saying when they're not in characters, and you watch how they react to what you give other players. That guy that wants to kick the door down might not know that he wanted a dramatic moment, but when he sees another player gets a dramatic moment, if you see that that person gets invested, you take note of that, and you try to toss them. You try to toss them like a little sample size of like, here are some feels. How are we going to react to this? And if they take to it, then you get to be the GM that introduced an aspect of the game to a player that they didn't even know that they wanted. It's just really about communication and listening to people.
Yeah,
that's all improv is.
It is, and I think one of the things that I explicitly teach my students is about like we often listen to respond instead of listening to learn, and I find that playing at a table you kind of have to do both if you want to keep it rolling. So with all those types of players at your table, like who's the most fun kind of player to play with? The opposite of that guy.
The opposite of a bad guy. My favorite player is the quiet one. My favorite player is the one that has a look on their face of, what am I doing here? What did I get into? This was a mistake. I should not be here. That's the person that I'm going to give the coolest. That's the person I'm going to give the coolest moment to, whether they want it or not. Like, I'm going to make you love this hobby. Yeah. The magic of this, the magic of what we do, is that we get to be people that life doesn't let us be. Mm-hmm. Like life doesn't let the quiet, small, soft-spoken person be the one that like cuts a dragon's head off. So if I see somebody that is hesitant and a little scared, I'm going to slowly, because you can't push them into the spotlight. You got to slowly coax them into it. And the best way to do that is to just ask questions. Yeah. If they don't talk, ask them a question, because I feel like that takes the responsibility of initiating creativity off of them. Like, what does your character feel in this moment? You just saw the barbarian cut somebody in half. How do you feel about that? That kind of stuff.
Right. Well, and I find quiet players, like Sphinx was the first person I was thinking of, and it's not a lack of confidence or a shyness that Ryan has, but those quiet players like Sphinx have like the most amazing one-liners. Like when they do get something in there, it kills me every time. Or like some of the best RP moments I've ever seen were from Sphinx. So I think that for sure every kind of player has a seat at the table, but those quiet players are silent killers.
Yeah, Sphinx is never quiet. Sphinx is just waiting.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Sphinx has said stuff that has shaken me to my core. It has always been the best. So yeah, I love that. I love that.
So branching off of that topic, one of my favorite things that you do as a GM is you've said multiple times that you like to find like superhero moments for each of the players. So how do you go about like figuring out what those moments are going to be and how to like pick them out?
So the fun fact is that I never have to do too much work, because I have been blessed with playing with people that are so wildly creative that all I have to do is kind of see maybe the next two natural steps of where they're already going. Like you let the players kind of lead. So I want to say that in a mass game that I played yesterday for Magpie, I had a player that was playing a scion, which is a child of a supervillain, right? And her dad fell off the wagon and kind of went back to villainy, and they were on an airship, and the dad villain was just like, screw everybody on this ship. I'm going to take my daughter and we're going to get off of here. And I'm just going to let the ship crash because, screw these guys. And I was expecting the player to kind of genuinely talk to their dad like, hey, don't do that, maybe, or just try to save my friends, whatever. What I did not realize is that the Scion has a move where it's all about pretending you're a villain for a hot second to get an advantage over the villain. So they did that move and they double crossed their dad using villainy. And I'm like, I didn't even think of it. And so I say all that to say this. It's less about creating the superhero moment and more about honoring the size of what they do. Like I have had GMs where I have put together a mastermind plan and it kind of falls exactly how I had to plan. They're like, okay, great, you did that. And what's the next thing? Like if your player does something wild, react to it. Like that's the point of collaborative storytelling. I'm here to watch what happens as much as I'm here to make stuff happen. So I think that's the key. It's just like be fans of your players.
That kind of goes totally against the whole GM versus player thing, which is
I hate
my
that.
preference.
It depends on how you, as a player, I've had GMs who live to win, which is just like, okay, we beat the boss in like 3 turns, and they're like, well, now the boss has a twin brother, and right. He has, and his role is 1 plus whatever your AC is. So it's just like, oh, dude, this sucks.
Yeah. So something that we both enjoy is dressing up in character for streams.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It makes me so happy. It brings me a ton of joy. It drives my girlfriend crazy because I probably have 10 tiaras now. We only have 6
Never
episodes.
Enough.
Not even 6
Never
episodes
enough.
of Ravenloft. But so what is your dream cosplay? So original character or not, what was like your dream?
That guy right there. Oh,
tell us about that guy.
That is Lorenzo de Silvia. He is a Dampier paladin of the storm and a storm sorcerer. I played him in one of the bigger games in my career for Cobalt Press, and then for Encounter Roleplay, now Weave the Tale. And I just fell in love with the character. It was the first time that it was the first time that I let myself go kind of dark with the character. And I put a lot of my real stuff in characters, and I had a little bit I had a little bit of a drinking problem for a bit there, and so I got to express that with him as blood was like alcohol to him and there is a whole stint where we ended up in the River Maw, which is where the undead go, and there's like this lake of blood, and he fell off the wagon, and the party had to bring him back, and it was this really hard, emotional thing, and it was like one of the more honest bits of role playing that I got to do. And I really appreciated that. And so this is the character that kind of wanders from campaign to campaign. My what's it called? Planeswalker at this point. But I truly appreciated getting to be that character, so much so that it's just like it's a source of strength for me, where it's just like if I do feel myself kind of like slipping or falling, I just look at that guy and I'm like, okay, let's pick ourselves up. Let's do this.
That's awesome.
So speaking of paladins, how many paladin subclasses have you written? Because it's several, right? It's the number is non-zero.
It's not zero. Right now, I have written about 15 or 16. Only 2 have been published. One I just kind of put out there for free, and it's the Oath of the Eagle Eye, because the fact that there isn't a rage-based paladin upset me greatly. So this is a paladin that can finally smite with an arrow, and I love it. And then the other one is Oath of the Lost Boy, which is in the Neverland of the Impossible Island book from Super Dylan or Diana, which is all about because like the oath slowly makes you Peter Pan over time, until you find the next Peter Pan. And the last class feature is you hand the sword of Pan over to the next, so that it keeps going, because children should always be protected, and that's so what the class is about.
I love that.
Awesome. Well, follow up to that. Do you want to can you tell us any more about the Oath of the Lost One, or is there what are the biggest things on that?
Okay, so the class is all about protecting. So I took heavy inspiration from Hook, and so the main thing that I took to heart when creating it was what Peter tells to Thud Butt, who becomes the new Peter Pan, is protect everybody smaller than you. And so the class is about being able to instantly jump in front of a hit that somebody else is taking. So that's the Bazinga. Oh God, I said Bazinga. Oh Lord, I'm very tired. That's the Bangarang feature. Bangarang essentially gives you a Misty Step as a bonus action to jump, as a reaction rather, to jump in front of a party member of yours that's going to get hit. And as you level up in the Oath of the Lost Boy class, you start to get more and more of Peter Pan's features. The main one being using your shadow. So your shadow is then also able to bangarang for you, and you can swap places with your shadow. And then your channel divinity allows you to end fear-based conditions on party members. And then after a certain level, your channel divinity also allows you to put pixie dust on your party, and as long as they think of happy thoughts, they can fly for a time. So it's all about bringing that Peter Pan lore to a character, and I was really trying to think what class Peter Pan would be, and I can't help but think that he's a paladin. I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased. Paladin is by far my favorite class. My least favorite class is Ranger. Just take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I really wanted to, and this was the first time somebody asked me to create content, for like a personal project. Like I've done a bunch of Kickstarter stuff, but this was like, this was Diana's book. So I really wanted to bring it. And I hope that if anybody plays the class, they have fun with it. Because I certainly had a good time writing it.
That's awesome. Well, would you like to play a song for everybody? It's not a really good segue, but this is about the time where we would have asked you for plugs, but since you're the only guest today, there's no real segue.
No, it's all good. I guess I could give you a choice. I have a sad boy song and I have a nerdy song. And the sad boy song that I have does relate to my character because it was about the same drinking period that I went through when I played him. So
let's do that one.
Okay, then we will do that one. Oh boy. It is called Drinks. And give me just a second. I just need to make sure that I'm tuned, which is something I should have done beforehand, but I'm not a professional. Okay, we're good. I'm not gonna make y'all sit through all that. I don't know what I've been drinking, but it's got me in my head, having dialogues with phantoms, speaking words I've left unsaid. Won't make much a difference, cause the time has long since passed. So while I'm stuck here with the memories, I pour another glass, cause there ain't no turning back now. Ain't no turning back now. I don't know what I've been drinking, but it's gone straight to the heart. Got it pissed off asking questions. Why do I get torn apart? Why am I so reckless? Maybe because I like the pain. Well, that explains how I keep making the same mistakes again. And there ain't no turning back now. And there ain't no turning back now. Trying to drink the pain away, but even if I drown the shit, would probably stay, but that's okay. Cause people seem to like me this way. No, I'll never be just like the people that you seem to like. But that's just my problem that I'll face alone at night. Funny, when I want attention, I can't get a single mention. But when I'm trying to vanish, that's when everybody gets to planning. Long time, how you been? Where you been? I've been trying to see your ass again. Got all of these events and you promise, but you never seem to attend. That's because I'm working on me. This face you often see is a mask. I don't even really know what my real face be. Laughing while I'm crying, live it up in the midst of dying. Y'all say it's easy, you lying, screaming, keep it up, Lord, I'm trying. But really, I've been trying to drink the pain away, but even if I drown the shit, will probably stay. And there ain't no turning back now. I don't know what I've been drinking, but it's gone straight to the soul and it's mocking me, saying you a lie when I say that it's under control. Maybe this is who I'm meant to be, and maybe this is all I deserve, cause the only time I'm happy is when I'm faded, another drink's being served. Maybe it's not that bad, and maybe I could put the bottle down, but who am I kidding, bartender? Bring me another round.
Yay! That was amazing. So wow. Okay. Let's. I'm gonna stay in the feels with my next question because as a person who puts a lot of there's a lot of catharsis that happens through the characters that we play, especially queer people, people of color, people who are marginalized. We put a lot of that into our characters. And with the Paladin, and I always said that I was like a war cleric, right? Like I want to smash things. I want to protect my friends. That's my power fantasy. And I have a question. As the oldest sibling, are you an oldest sibling as well?
I am. I am the
that's
oldest.
Not surprising at all.
I've got two lovely siblings, my little middle and my little.
Yeah.
My little middle is is Joy, who is just far more talented than me, and it's upsetting. Well, actually, they both are, which really is pissing me off. Joy has been on my streams a number of times. They're an amazing makeup artist as well as just a K-pop guru, and just overall hilarious, side-splitting and just soul-sucking talent. Like I'm like, part of me is like I want to hype them up, but also I'm their big brother, so like fuck, like then Jay's everywhere now. Like people are telling me like I should check out Jay, and I'm like, that's my brother. Like so I'm so proud of him. I don't make any secret of it, and neither do they. We did not have a great childhood. Our family is a fucking mess, but the thing is, like, I see that we all turned that into passions and drive and a love for art and a stalwart promise that we would never let the people in our lives feel the way that we felt growing up. And we never talked about that being a motivating factor for it, but I see it in everything that they do, and I try and make sure that that is prominent in everything that I do, and I'm proud of us.
Yeah. Well, as a fellow cycle breaker, I understand where the sentiment. I got roasted by TikTok recently because I have like 3 character archetypes I play. I play old lady, I play angry butch lesbian, and I play neurodivergent small one that everyone must protect. And there was a TikTok that was like, oh, you like RPing the character that everyone else protects and takes care of? What was it like being your own parent? And I was like, fuck you, TikTok.
Jesus. TikTok is always coming after our heads. Like, I don't.
There's like a crossover of therapy talk and D&D talk, and I was like, fuck you.
Oh, that's the sweet spot of where you need to log out for the night. I have
Exactly. I was like, I'm done with the internet today. Boom, roasted.
Man.
Relatable content.
TikTok hurts my feelings way too much. Yo, I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Gosh, yeah. No, I was just gonna say I'm looking at those today because I forgot what I was supposed to ask next. So continue talking about TikTok.
You like to do like different songs on TikTok, reaction videos. I super enjoy them. Everyone should follow Noir on TikTok. My girlfriend says I have a 1 personal attack a day limit on TikTok. And we'll like send each other personal attacks. Like, this one's you, this one's attacking me.
You ever look at your Facebook page and go, "What the fuck is wrong with me?"
No, because I don't use Facebook anymore.
No, I never get on Facebook. I actively avoid it if I can.
I said timeline. I meant For You page. I'm old.
Oh, that. No. Well, lately, so here's what's interesting. Lately, my For You page has been, like a bunch of like, "Are the straights okay?" videos. Because I'm like,
they're not.
They're not. But like, I'm like, how did I end up on this side of TikTok? I'm a gay neurodivergent. I should not be here. And so I'm trying to get back onto queer talk again. I don't know what I liked that got me there, but
I don't know
if I don't know if I'm about to tell on myself, but have either of you been on Thneed Talk recently?
What is Thneed Talk?
Thneed Talk. THNEED.
Oh no, I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
Gen Z thing.
No. Have you ever heard of, this is like old school, early 2010s Tumblr kind of nightmare spinoff. Have either of you heard of the Onceler fandom?
Kinda. That's
like
Doctor Who and Sherlock? No,
like
the
Lorax.
And wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what was it?
Who speaks for the trees? The Lorax. The Onceler.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know where this is going.
I do not, and I'm along for the ride.
I am not going to say out loud live on the internet what I know about the Onceler fandom. You all can go look it up for yourselves. But on TikTok, there's been this one specific person who like will stitch videos of people like showing off like multi-purpose clothing, like a scarf you can wear 3 ways, or like those dresses you can tie different ways. And she just like sits and like stares. And then the caption is always Thneed Talk, and it's just everybody's like, "Oh my god, not the Onceler fandom again."
Yeah.
I saw somebody dressed up as a sexy Lorax, and I was just like, okay, that was another turn off. Like, I'm done with TikTok today situation.
Yes,
when I saw that, I also turned off TikTok.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to step away.
Yeah.
Onto more professional topics again, because I found the question I'm supposed to ask. What can you tell us about the adventure that you wrote for Necrobiotic?
So the deal with that is it's about it's about have any of you seen Crank or Crank 2?
I've heard of it.
No, I know what it is.
It's about individuals who find upgrades that are amazing, but they have to continuously be in action for it to be useful. And if they stay stagnant for too long, it starts to poison them. So it's really for your more hype characters that are about kicking the doors in. Like, I wanted to write an adventure that was all about just going balls to the wall, nuts with attacking, and less talking, more fighting.
Speedrun TRPG.
Yeah. I've never really written anything like that, and so I gave it a whirl. And it was interesting. That's what I'll say for that one.
Yeah, always good to try new things.
Right.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta try new things to figure out like what's not your shtick.
Yep.
That wasn't for me. I'm done now.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my political thrillers and to my like emotionally tormenting choice making adventures, like I'm supposed to, and stop trying to do action because I'm not good at it.
So as a person who is like super busy and also neurodivergent. How do you stay organized? Like you have so many things, and I'm like, okay, are you still doing this? Okay, or what's he up to now? Like, what's he doing? When do you have a day off, and how do you stay so organized?
Um, okay, so I appreciate that there's even the slightest thin veneer of me being organized because uh, I'm not. But I'll say this: I am blessed to have an amazing foundation near me. Uh, I can't tell you enough how much Anita or Pranita or Critical Misses comes through for me to just get my butt into gear. And basically, how do I stay organized? I talk to Anita. And Anita's like, hey, don't you have that thing today? And I'm like, I do have that thing today. I honestly, I cannot stress this enough. You can't find any success anywhere unless you have a good team. And I have the best team. I have a lot of people in my orbit, some closer than others, and really the only reason there's any distance between anybody is because I am neurodivergent and DMs scare me. Like if I see a wall of text, my brain immediately goes, somebody's yelling at you, and I shut down. Like I can't explain that enough, and that actually caused a huge falling out with me recently, with some people, and you know, and that's gonna happen. You know, one of the things is like you you can't you can't expect people to live up to the expectations that you've built for them in your head, and communication is incredibly necessary for every relationship, especially if you're dealing with a neurodivergent person. And if somebody tells you that I am so anxious that DMs scare me, you got to listen to, like, you got to believe that. Like, they're not, people don't say that kind of shit for their own, just to say it. Like, so
Right.
I just dealt with a group that was very unhappy with that, and I understand. But you know,
Note to self: if I want to invite Noir on something, I'm going to write a very short message.
it really, I'm honestly, it sounds really dumb. 6 or 7 words at most will get my attention. If there's a paragraph, I'm going to panic. I can't, like, okay, fuck it, I'll tell the story.
Wait, let me get my tea.
I got the most loving email from a hero of mine who appeared on our show, and I didn't look at it for 2 months because I'm like, this will hurt. If this person tells me that I'm a shit, I am going to shut down. And it was one of those ones where I didn't even tell Anita, like, because I'll tell Anita, like, I got a wall of text from this person, and Anita will go, do I need to read it? And I'm like, you might need to. This might be serious. And then Anita will go, they don't hate you. That's your head. And here's what the message is. I didn't even tell Anita about this one because I'm like, I don't want these words to even be translated from somebody else to tell me that I'm a fuck. And then I read it, and it was the sweetest thing. Like, I really enjoyed being on your show. I was a little worried at first because, you know, we just kind of jumped into it, and I was a little late. So sorry I was late, but you know what? I had a very good time. I would love to work with you again at some point. This was very good for me. And I'm like, I'm jumping all over the house. Like, I'm doing end zone dances and stuff, but it took me 2 months to get to that point.
RSD is an asshole. Like, RSD fucks up your whole day.
I for a very long portion of my life heard the name fuck up more than I heard my actual name. Like that's who I was. And um that leaves a mark. Like, and like I want to please everybody all the time, but that is something that is fundamentally impossible. So I'm always going to present my best self, even when people are shouting at me and calling me this and that, because it's just like, it's all I can do. And so, yeah.
This is
If
Nikki
you got,
relates to Noir Hour.
Yeah, I was just sitting over here and be like, wait a second.
Well, and so like my RSD comes from being held to such high expectations for being a tag student, and then being told I was fucking annoying by everybody, including some of my teachers, and then getting to a point in middle school and high school with undiagnosed ADHD and needing to actually be able to pay attention to learn, because up until then I didn't have to. I could just do the work. And then just failing because I couldn't pay attention and didn't know why. And so that RSD kicks in, and you kick yourself for it later, or you do get rejected and it hurts more than it should. And so it's just like, and so that makes what we do very difficult, like wanting to be on streams and talk to cool people.
Yeah, I feel that. When I was like just starting to like weasel my way into this space, I was like really afraid all the time, because when I was growing up, I was the weird kid. Like I was always the one like didn't get invited to the party. Like I remember at the end of 8th grade, a bunch of my people that I thought that I was friends with at the time became actual friends with later. Debatable if that was a good decision. At the end of 8th grade, they had a little end of school year party that they didn't invite me to, and then prank called me from.
Oh God, damn!
So mean.
So I was a weird kid. It was so mean. So I was the weird kid, and coming at like, but here it's really wonderful because everybody's the weird kid, and I love it. It was such a pleasant surprise to find that out.
Everyone's queer. Everyone's neurodivergent. Like.
I've reached out to both of you to be involved in things at some point, and I have to tell you, I'm always terrified when I reach out to people. So like, I completely understand. And like, now there's this illusion that social media puts up that like you think that people with followers or whatever are like big deals, and when people act like that, it's just like, I'm still afraid of you. Stop being afraid of me. I'm trying to be afraid of you.
So Spider-Man mean, wait a second. So I have one more question for you. And this is going back to like games and not like, emotional social things. So are there any systems that you prefer to play rather than GM, or systems you prefer to GM rather than play?
I realized last night while I was running what has to be like my 100th game of Mask that I have played Mask as a player probably 4 times. And I really like the system, and I would really like to be a player. But like, also last week I ran a proof of concept of a show that I'm calling Weekly Shadows, where I'm going to be running Urban Shadows 2nd edition with like rotating cast and whatnot. And I really love that system. I cannot tell you how much I love Urban Shadows 2. It is so in the pocket for me. Like it's the system that makes GMing effortless. It's like we're not even playing a game. We're just telling a story. But I would kill to be in a long-term fifth edition game. Like I've done so many one shots and created so many characters that I've fallen in love with. And yeah, I just but those are the systems that I'm in love with right now. Urban Shadows, Mass, and D&D 5th edition. I think I'm a little burnt out on Avatar. I've been playing it nonstop before it even came out. It's still an amazing system. That's one of those systems that will truly benefit from a campaign, like being run in a campaign. And I've been doing one shots, and so I have run into every wall that system has for one shots, and it's like, okay. God, I'm sorry if I'm putting too much thought into your question.
No, this is great.
I'm trying to see. I really want to run a game of Capers. I've talked to the creator of the game twice now. Really cool dude. And it's right in the pocket. It's another card-based system that's really just extraordinary. And like it gives me a reason to like sit around with a bunch of people dressed up in like Flapper in 1920, Roaring 20s gear. So yeah, I definitely want to play that one. And Relics is another one I want to play. And I think that's it.
So for the people that are still somewhat new to this, what do you mean when you say a card-based game?
So a card-based game is so instead of using dice to determine what happens next, you would use a deck of cards. So you would have a power aligned with a certain suit of cards, and in the potency of that power would be determined by the value of the card. So if you have like a ace of clubs, you're really bringing it home with that power. But if you only have like a one ace, you can still get the power off, but it's not going to be as potent. Games like Capers are run on a card-based system. Games like Necrobiotic also run on a card-based system. I'm generally not a fan of card-based systems just because I'm a traditionalist. Give me a die or but
speaking of dice,
don't you fucking
you are outnumbered.
Don't you fucking do it. I didn't sign up for this bullshit.
You did sign up for this. You did sign up for this.
No, I will kick you out of the Zoom call.
This is bullshit. Stop the crunch. Stop the crunch.
I will never.
Okay, so this is a little petty. Just going in. I don't know how to say this without being an asshole.
Just say it.
Everybody involved with the crunch thing has at some point in the year genuinely gotten themselves to hate my fucking guts. Like I've made enemies twice. Like for real enemies off of this crunch thing. I'm just like, well, you know what? It's cool.
I think anyone that
don't take it that seriously.
Yeah,
but
anyone who takes it that seriously needs to go home and take a nap.
Or eat a snack. Maybe not an acrylic one, but a snack.
Drink some water, you'll feel better.
I'm laughing at your chat being as spicy as ever. I love it.
No, hard petty, never her. So what is like your dream TTRPG project? Like, is it to create one? Is it a stream? Like, what is your dream TTRPG project?
I'm kind of doing it a little bit. Like, I love producing for Rivals of Waterdeep. It's an amazing show, and I've gotten really close with the cast. I've already known Mattia since forever. Yeah. And so now, like, just hanging out with Eugenio, Sud, Urban Bohemian, Sharif, who I'm on another show with, Trouble in Techburg, and Tanya. Tanya is just such an underrated and underappreciated force in this space, and just learning by watching has been a gift. So I would love to continue that. I think my dream would be to produce a TTRPG for something like a G4 or Critical Role. I kind of like the being behind the scenes and putting that together, and I would love to produce something for a bigger platform where I get to introduce the world to these people that I know are amazing, and they don't have that platform on their own right now, which was the goal of Morning Ritual, but it's like two people with barely a platform trying to give other people a platform. So like if I could like have something like that on G4 or Critical Role or Dimension 20 or just any of these bigger brands that have influence behind them, and use that to go, hey, here's somebody that doesn't have 20,000 followers already. Maybe they should. Like, let's get them in front of a camera and show you how they work. Because I have seen people with 100,000 followers that I would never sit at a table with again. And I have sat at a table with somebody with 5 followers that have broken me down and made me cry with some of the decisions and the passion that they've brought at the table. So sadly, to get to that level, you need to do the meta work. You need to build your brand. You need to have a signature project. You have to have connections. You have to make sure that your reputation is solid.
Gotta do all that networking.
You have to do the networking. You have to do all the shit that has nothing to do with who you are at the table. And if I could earn the goodwill and the reputation and the faith of a network to go, look, this is your thing. You can bring on whoever you want. Even if they go, look, you can bring on one person that you want each episode. Even that would be enough so that some of these amazing talents could get the respect that they deserve. This is me kissing ass because I've been on the show, because I'm on the show right now. But Nikki, you are fucking amazing at the table. Kelsey, you are amazing at the table. And like, people need to see that. People need to see that there's more than one way to sit at the table and to represent a character. And so that's been my goal since day one. And there are those out there that think that I think that that's not what I'm genuinely after. And, that's unfortunate, but the lesson that I'm learning now is that as long as you know who you are and what you're about, then the whispers, the subtweets, the gossip, you just got to let it be noise.
Yeah, and that's just part of like any kind of any career really, that requires any kind of networking. I mean, I worked in sales before I was a teacher, and if I was trying to be an admin, I would have to worry more about my reputation, but I will never be the principal of a school because fuck that. You couldn't pay me enough. But yeah, so like any career where like to be successful, you have to interface with people. You're going to run against people who are suspicious or don't trust you, or who don't understand the difference between this is a bad person and this is a person I don't get along with. And that's just the name of the game, unfortunately. But in reality, like if you sit down and you look at who are your enemies and who are your friends, and you've got really fucking cool friends. So Like, that's all what I tell myself is I'm like, okay, so that person doesn't like me. That doesn't matter to me. As long as I still get to interact with the fucking amazing people I get to interact with. So, now you could ask my girlfriend and she would tell you that sometimes I do get overworked about people not liking me, but that's normal.
You can't help it.
Yeah.
You can't help it. Like, it's just like, but I tried to be nice. Like, I tried to do everything.
I'm honest all the time. What did I do wrong?
What more do you want from me?
I was too honest? Like, seriously?
But the thing is, though, like, people will take you defending your boundaries as an insult if it comes at a cost of what they're trying to achieve. And
sorry, are you talking about my mother?
Right? Or like, I was so upset because this morning somebody reached out to me to be on a show, and there's this guy on YouTube that like my girlfriend watches all the time that I think is really cool, and I if she's watching it, I'll join in. But like, I got invited to a table with that person, and I really like playing with the person who invited me. But I was like, well, who else is on there? Because I will not sit at another table, because I made that mistake recently of where there's only one person of color. There needs to be at least two. I'm not going on that show. He tells me who's on it. All white men. No women. All white men. And I was just like, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable being the only femme presenting person at a table.
Nikki, you were the diversity. They wanted you to be the diversity.
They're like, we'll get a gay woman. 2 rungs on the diversity board. So I was just like, that sounds real fun, but no, it doesn't sound fun, actually. I won't be the only woman at a table, or at least not the only femme presenting person, and she's 2 categories of diverse. 3, actually, because I'm also disabled. But
you gotta check off all those boxes.
There you go.
But yeah, so anyway, it was
you don't need any melanin inside if you got that. You got a 3-fer.
Right? So yeah, it was really upsetting because it's like, here's these people that have 30,000 followers, 17,000 followers, and they can't find a single person of color that they're friends with that they want to invite to this table. Like, I don't understand that concept when a group, TTRPG has 470 followers now, and every table is as inclusive as we possibly can be, and it's just, I don't understand it. It doesn't compute to my brain, and that's what I'm mad about today. So that's my soapbox today. Because it happened this morning. Oh
God, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
It's such a bummer because I was so excited at first, and then it's like, okay, so is that person never going to like invite me again? And the answer is probably. Could I climb the ladder faster if I took those opportunities? Probably, but I wouldn't feel good about it. So it's fine. I don't need to be on that show.
When Nikki messaged me about that, I just responded, gross, in all caps.
Do you want to play another song for us now that
yes.
Let me get off my soapbox?
No, you're good. I like the soapbox. All right.
I know you do. That's our other thing.
That's our thing.
That's our other thing, yeah.
Okay, so I wrote this today. The concept has been around for a while. God. Oh boy. He's probably gonna be laughing at me because I told them I was gonna forget this. All right. It's just another day in this cold dark cave, and I know nothing will ever change. 'Cause the only place that I can ever go is where I've been, because I'm slow. Then I see a light. It's not like other nights, 'cause I know something this way comes. And you're screaming, cutting, slashing, burning, slowly learning not to get too close to me. When you fall in me, and what I see is everything, and what I learn is overwhelming. I can't believe what I have seen through your eyes, and now I'm free. I took your life, and now I need to know exactly who I'm meant to be. 'Cause I'm more than this gelatinous cube. I've got a new lease on life and attitude. It's just another day in this cold, damp cave, and I know I need a name. And the words that I think I heard you say was Bob and Saul. Now that's my name. And what I see is everything. And what I've learned is overwhelming. I can't believe what I have seen through your eyes. You set me free. I took your life, and now I know I've got to find where I'm meant to be. 'Cause I'm more than this gelatinous cube. I will truly so life in So that is the story of a gelatinous cube that kills somebody with a headband of intellect, and now they
Amazing.
get consciousness.
Oh my god, I love it. So we are just over an hour, and we like to keep it a tight hour. I knew we could easily fill an hour talking to you. Simple, easy peasy day. So what are you up to? Like, give us your plugs and we'll outro.
Okay. So I just finished some production notes for my channel. So this is going to be the first place that I announce some new shows. So here we go. On Mondays, you can find me over on Critical Misses for Kingsguard, which is a 5th edition campaign set in a homebrew world that I've been playing since 2006. So it's very old. On Tuesdays, in the next, I want to say probably starting in January, I'm doing a late night show called Talking Crit. This is where we're going to be talking about more adult oriented things. I've been very interested in the crossover between sex workers and the TTRPG field, and so we're just going to have honest to God conversations about the things that these fields have in common, about the struggles in both, and about how we can make each space better for the individuals involved. I'm very excited about that. Wednesdays will be Wednesdays. You can find me on Follow Black Cat Gaming, and then we'll be doing Dungeons and Deep Dish on Wednesday mornings. And then Wednesday evenings will be Weekly Shadows, which is an Urban Shadows game that I'll be running with a rotating cast. Thursdays, I sleep. Fridays, I also sleep. Saturday mornings, you can find me on Morning Ritual. And I will be involved in a new game on Saturday evenings as well, but that'll come out later. And then Sundays, check out Rivals of Waterdeep because I'm the producer for it, and that's really freaking cool. And then that's me.
Awesome. Kelsey.
I'm Kelsey. Hello. I am not in any games or projects things coming up, but if I am, you'll find out about it on my Twitter, which is crochet_BBY. You can also find me on TikTok as Crotchety Old Woman with the little underscores, the same way they are in my Twitch username. Yeah, I'm starting to help out with admin stuff on this channel, so you might find me here sometimes. And that's it.
Awesome. And I am Nikki. I'm an LGBTQ and disability advocate for educators, as well as a 5th grade teacher, co-creator here at TRPG. Just wrapped up the Weave the Tale show I was on too. So that's done. But I'm still doing Besieged by the Dead on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's our Ravenloft campaign. Here on this channel, and this is our last episode of the talk show this year. We're gonna take a break for the holiday season. Yes, Noir, you are our last guest.
That's right. That's right.
And then so we have that going on, and then December on Tuesdays we're going to have the between a campaign of the Between. I'm super pumped to bring back my Dr. Helena Buttoncourt. She is a real big creep. So tune in to find out what I mean by that. I'm not going to give it away. And then we also have we'll be wrapping up Besieged by the Dead starting in January. We'll have our Avatar: The Last Airbender campaign that will be ran by Riley, who is Riley GRYC on Twitter. That will be really fun, and I'm super excited about it. And that is it right now. We also have some one-shots coming up December 8th. We are running Sapphic Space Pirates, which is a game that was written by our friend Natalie. So tune in for that, because that starts being sold at PAX on the 10th. So have a great rest of your day, everybody.